two, I have something to say. I feel Kyle has died. He's been run over by a bus. And he will no longer be on the show. And now I rule the show. It's all mine. Mine.
This show is still mine.
Darn it! Alright.
Anyways, fellow YouTubers, I'm Kyle. This is my co-host,
DJ.
and this is Yu-Gi-Oh! Tactics. Now, when we last left, we were discussing all the various ways you can play, show or actual rules. But before we get to that, let's discuss our featured cards. Today's featured cards, mine is Brain Crusher. DJ?
And mine is Sakuretsu Armor.
Now the good thing, you see, my card, Brain Crusher, it's a very rare card. You can only get it from, oh, now I remember. You're supposed to get it from Yu-Gi-Oh! GX Spirit Caller, the DS game. But this card has a really good effect. You see, it costs 2 monsters to summon him. 2,400 attack, 1,500 defense. But when he destroys a monster by battle, he can bring it back onto his side of the field after the end of the turn. You know, it's like increasing your army for you. He's kind of like, how shall we say, zombie. Except he's an insect. Oh well. DJ?
And Sakuretsu Armor, well, if you have a big badass monster coming your way, then just activate this little puppy on their turn when they're declaring their attack. Just simply wipe out the monster at any cost. Any monster.
Okay, now that our featured cards are out of the way, let's discuss the basics.
The basics.
Now, as you saw in our last episode, we showed you our featured cards, Creature Swap, Dark Spirit of the Silent, and because I can't find our Snipe Hunter, oh, never mind, I found it. Never know what's going to happen on this show. Snipe Hunter. These are the basic types of cards. Now, we're going to get more diverse into these cards later, but right now we'll focus on the main kinds. This, a green card, is called a spell. Spell. Remember that.
Spell.
These violet-colored cards are called traps. Traps? Repeat after me, audience. Traps. That's good.
Traps.
Now, and finally, these cards, they can be either yellow or orange. These are monsters. This particular monster is an effect monster. We'll get into that later. Now repeat after me. Monster.
Monster.
Thank you. Now when it comes to these kinds of cards, you have to distinguish which ones do what. Spell cards can be played at any time during your turn only. Trap cards can be played either your turn or opponent's turn, depending on its effect. And monsters, they can only be played during your turn. Or unless you have another card, but we'll get into that later. Spell cards and monster cards and trap cards and whatever, it really depends on how you play it together, which determines the outcome of a duel. A monster card you can summon once per turn, unless there's a special thing called a special summon. Easy name, huh? Hard to do, but still.
Not that hard.
Yeah. Anyways, back to our main point. But before we go on, we'd like to give a special shout-out to our anime club.
Anime Club!
That's right. Our school has an anime club because we're awesome.
Awesomeness.
Yeah. And our special shout-out to Faith, Star, Envy, Yuki.
And Ashley.
Ashley, our anime club president. You rock, girl.
Awesome.
Yeah. Anyways, now that shout-out's over, we've got one more topic to discuss about being a duelist. If you're an amateur, you're clearly already doing this, but still. Be proud of the fact that you're a duelist. When you're a duelist, it means you're really good at math and you're really good at, well, let's just say card games.
Yeah.
And it also means that you actually have a mind to do this. You have an imagination and you're willing, be proud of that fact. And, don't be afraid to carry around your deck in public areas, like the mall or stuff. And if people, point out that you're a duelist, and like, big deal. So what?
Yeah, unless you're not one of the football players who make a 70 in their classes just to get by, and when they're sitting there, they're like,
And we're the ones getting 99s in our classes,
Let's make sure of that.
Anyways, the thing is, you can bring your cards out into public. In fact, you may meet other people, other duelists that bring their decks out into public too, and you could duel, become friends, sometimes that influence will spread. sometimes that influence will spread onto, stores and stuff, and they'll say, hey, this Yu-Gi-Oh thing brings a lot of publicity. And, they can start up tournaments or whatever, especially around where we live.
Yeah, I mean, if you can get, 20 people, dueling around in the store, then that right there shows that there are many people that's interested in this. And there's at least, 10 people out there who want to duel, and the storekeepers will know that. In that way, they'll start up this thing, and 20 people becomes 30, and so on.
Yeah, you know what? We were at Anime Club the other day, and I pointed out to the entire Anime Club, I'm going to start up Yu-Gi-Oh tournaments from now on in this club. And I've noticed that there are several anime nerds and, Yu-Gi-Oh nerds that bring over their cards, to school. And I think they're incredibly willing to do that. And they're actually not afraid to bring their decks. In fact, they meet up in the band hall to duel. I consider it nerdy, but, it's pretty cool. Because I do it. Anyways, thanks for watching this show. Thanks for the viewers. Now, if we're going to bring up to our next topic, we're going to discuss duel etiquette.
Duel
Etiquette by Calvin Klein. Anyways, now, remember this. They like to do this in tournaments. Whenever you're dueling somebody, be sure to shake their hand, introduce yourself sometimes, and every time you do... I'm Kyle. You see, every time you start a duel, shake hands. Every time you end a duel, no matter what the result is, shake their hands.
Yeah, don't be a sore loser and say, oh crap, I lost.
I could have won, and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, don't say I could have, because if you could have, you should have anyway.
And somebody will think that's very loserish of you.
Very.
Yeah. Especially us, We're pretty serious about this, but, we can have fun too. You can have fun. If you're a serious player and you know how to play, you can have fun while playing the game too. But if you're an amateur, I'm going to advise you that you have to be serious for now. When you get really into the game and you get really used to playing, we'll get into that, okay? Okay, now we've got a few words from my friend here.
Now, I just have to stress this. I can't stress this enough. I hate it when people just come along and just pick up my card for no specific reason. I don't care if it's just a look at the effect or a picture. Ask, I don't want 50 different people passing around the card and then I lose it later on. Ask to see their card. Whether you're in a duel or out of a duel, don't touch their cards without permission.
Yes. Always ask permission to see a card before you see it. Don't just grab it. And also, whenever somebody does something wrong, point it out. This is why we have this whole segment, so we can tell you the proper way to duel.
It's called a rule book.
This is just basic things to do, for the game. Now, for you amateurs who do not know how to duel, there are websites you can go to, such as Yu-Gi-Oh! Wikia, click on the link. Or, you can go to, Upper Deck Entertainment or whatever. Or you could go buy a deck and get one of these special rule books. Because they tell you what you need to do, for the basics of the game. These will tell you what to do before you know how to do it on this video. We're just going to tell you tips and stuff. Right now, we're telling you how to play, but, we're going to get more into, spell speeds, attributing, and special strategies and whatnot. You see, this is why we do this for you, my viewers. We love you, yeah. Okay, that's about all the time we have right now, but be sure to tune in for our next segment. It'll probably be out Wednesday. If not, you can just check our descriptions. We say it all the time. Anyways, DJ?
Right, and, that's my phone, and, I'm just gonna go.
We'll be here in a minute. Okay, that's all the time we have for us, you fellow YouTubers and amateur duelists. Now remember, always remember, be etiquette. And here comes my brother. Okay, that's all the time we have, so see you later on Yu-Gi-Oh! Tactics.
Bye!